Agency in Motion Continuing Education Series. This is a series for agents, producers, advisors, agency builders in the financial services industry. This episode today centers around boosting close rates with EQ sales. So when you're thinking about your business and you're looking at the process of bringing someone in as a prospect through marketing, converting them into a lead, talking with them through different cycles of communication, creating clients out of those, you have close rates. If you really want to improve your close rates, either building a book of business or teaching this through agency distribution, you have to master this skill. It's imperative in today's society that you understand how to do this and how to teach other people. So EQ, or emotional quotients, is also the same thing as emotional intelligence. This is the ability to understand the thoughts and feelings of somebody else. What are you doing? You're reading the other side of the room. You're connecting with the other side of the room. You're building relationships with the other side of the room, and you're influencing these people. That means you're able to put yourself in the customer's shoes. You hear their needs, you acknowledge their concerns, and you treat them accordingly. Guys, it's a combination of two things, and when you put it together, your business will take off. IQ. You have to know the information that you're relaying to the other side. So you have to learn it, right? Whatever you're presenting, whatever your business model it is, whatever your core products and services are, you have to know about those. You have to know how to present those. That's IQ, knowing the material. And then EQ is knowing the people. That's building relationships, like I said, connecting, reading the other side of the room. So knowing the information and then knowing how to read the other side of the room, the two of those combined together is how you form success, and especially in this industry. So emotional intelligence, guys, obviously it's about emotions. You have to understand them, use them, perceive them, and manage them. So when you understand that everybody you're talking to is an emotional creature and they make decisions based off, present as well as past emotions, you have to understand how to walk people through, and understanding emotions and how to influence people without irritating them or without putting them down is a great skill set to have. So emotional intelligence, you guys should understand that emotional intelligence is nearly 4 times more powerful than IQ in predicting success. So if you can relate and connect with people, that is a huge skill set. High emotional intelligence level outperformed annual targets by 15 to 20%. According to this other Motorola survey, 93% of those employees at Motorola plant became more productive after adopting different emotional intelligence. And then, right now in today's society, emotional intelligence is one of the top 10 job skills that someone can possess. So this is worth putting time, energy, and resources into learning and mastering. And then, like I said, teaching other people. It can do great things for your business. You're an educator. So you're educated on the front side. And if you think about your past education history coming up through school, every one of your teachers, you probably don't remember. There's probably a handful, maybe more, that you remember. Why do you remember those? Because you connected with them. And if you connected with them, then obviously, are they connected with you or found some connection with you? They made an impact on you. And that's really what you're trying to do here, is make an impact on people through the education process, leading them to buying decisions. You're only as good right now and going forward as your emotional intelligence and sales. So your sales figures, the amount of revenue and income that you're bringing in, emotional intelligence has a great deal to do with it. So if you are doing well in this category, you should see your revenue and income benefit from that. If you're not doing well in that, it can be a deficiency and hold you back. Remember, emotional intelligence, you guys, is really 20 competencies, but it's like quadrants, 4 quadrants. You've got personal confidence. That's the ability to be self-aware. And also in personal confidence, that's the ability, once you're self-aware, to self-regulate yourself. And then on the opposite side, once you do that, you're really looking at the relational competence, and that's the awareness of others. Once you become self-aware, then you become aware of others. And then once you're aware of others, you can start to build relationships. And when you can build relationships, your business will take off. Building relationships, the ability, like I said, to influence people in a way that's not off-putting or not irritating to them, is going to have great benefits for your business. Remember, small things make big differences. So even if you've done a presentation for the 500th time, it's the first time that the other side is hearing it. So you've got to show up with energy, intensity. You've got to be on your game consistently. And that even comes down to the small things. So look at the difference between A and B. It's the same thing. They're coming back with some type of recommendation. A, I'm thrilled at the solution we designed for you and so glad we have an opportunity to speak to you about it. B, our team came up with a few ideas after we met. I'm going to tell you about them and then just see what you think. All right. Guys, remember, down to the small details can make huge impacts on your business. In the cycle of bringing in somebody from a prospect to a lead to a client, the most important part of that whole process is your presentation. You have to nail your presentation, and understanding what you're getting in front of people and doing really breaks down into 4 things and really goes back to what we're talking about today, because the information that you need to learn and relate to the other side and the transitions to make it smooth. This is all about IQ up here. This is about learning stuff, regurgitating stuff, providing transitions, making a presentation. The bottom is all about more about EQ and emotional intelligence. It's about the reasons and then obviously the closing. So you have to learn the information and then you have to learn the people. And putting that together, the learning process, once you're able to do that for yourself and then teach other people, it is, you're off to the races with your business. Understand people fear money. So part of what we're doing on the front side is we're taking bad or incorrect or wrong information and replacing that with the right information. That begins to open people's eyes and open people's minds. So part of EQ and emotional intelligence is the ability to extract information out of people, get them talking, get them elaborating. And that's, once again, on the front side. If you get people talking about either what they want to avoid or what they want, and you can identify that, now you can provide pathways and demand the ultimate, next step, which is the commitment to actually going towards, what we designed for you. It's also helping people reverse their thinking. Remember, no matter what somebody does for their paycheck, the most important thing is what they do with their paycheck. So understanding, breaking down those incorrect walls of information they built out over time about money, whether those are based on fear or greed, and like replacing that with good information, helping people understand how to unlock the power of their money. Now, when you're doing this, you have to do it in a way that sets off the light bulb in their head. You are trying to lead people to, newfound information, which will allow newfound action steps. And you're doing that in a way that's empowering to them. You're taking this long mess or twist of mess that they've got in their head about money and about, what to do or not to do with money, and you're providing a legitimate pathway to a desired end outcome. And you do so, if you do it correctly, get them feeling really good, not only about themselves, but about the future, about what they're doing, because ultimately, at the end of a call or end of a meeting, you want your clients to feel confident. You want them to feel excited. If they're getting off your meetings or your calls and they've taken an action step and they have instant regret, that means we haven't done a good job of really connecting with them, finding the reason they would actually do this, and then laying out that pathway to that, motivating factor, that pain factor avoidance. Guys, you get what you negotiate. So part of emotional intelligence is about understanding how to negotiate with people, how to read the other side, understand what they want. And then once again, once you identify what they want, not just generally, but really, what does somebody want? And then once you identify that, you lay out a pathway to actually get there. And once you do that, you have to ask them and get the commitment that they take action immediately. Once again, if you found what somebody wants and you can get them there, now they've got to take action. If you've done this in the correct way, they should be ready to go. Speak their language, not yours. And once again, this goes back to a basic thing that we've taught over and over again. You have to have a persona. If you're speaking to the same types of people, all the time about the same thing, you're basically, understanding that person, reading that person, and probably preemptively overcoming some of those basic objections and obstacles before they even come up. So once again, speak their language, not yours. Connect with them, because emotions are going to be a heavy influence on their decision. This is the cycle or the clock of human emotions. We are operating, depending on the situation, on fear, anger, sadness, joy, disgust, trust, anticipation, or surprise. So no matter what the situation is, one of these or multiple of these are coming up. And you have to understand, because we're a feelings first creature, those agents that can find emotional opportunities in their prospects and client interaction stand to get the best results. Low emotional intelligence means trouble for your sales performance because people don't want to do business with someone they don't like or trust. That's pretty simple to understand. And then emotional selling means you're arousing emotion in prospects to persuade them into buying decisions. Remember, every decision that we make is going to be influenced by emotion, whether it's a present or a past emotion, because when we're facing a new decision, feelings from past experience will create bias in our choice. So if we spent money foolishly before, if we made a bad financial decision, it's going to weigh on our current financial decisions. You have to understand that's how it's operated, how to break down those walls and help people understand that past mistakes don't have any bearing on what you're doing right now if you're making a solid decision. Inspiration to take action. Remember, these are the reasons that somebody's going to take that next action step with you. And once you understand these, it's a lot easier to have conversations. They want confidence in the future. They want to enjoy a sense of well-being. They want to protect that environment they've created and invited people into. They want to be the person ultimately they want to become or be. They want to feel secure. And everybody, guys, most people want to succeed in life. So these are the reasons that somebody's going to take action. Use these as inspiration to help them take those action steps. And really, there's two ways that you can get this done. There's two approaches to emotional selling, the positive and a negative. Most people use the negative in sales. Essentially, it means presenting your product as a cure or prevention for the prospect's biggest pain. But on the other side, a positive approach presents the product as something that will cause good things to happen in their future. Most prospects respond better to one approach or the other. And once again, going back to your persona, it's a good idea to probe early on and understand who you're actually speaking with. And if you're speaking with the same types of people, it gets easier and easier to have these conversations. So when you're asking questions, that's really all you have to do. Part of emotional intelligence is knowing how to close your mouth, ask some questions, ask some questions, close your mouth, and listen, and then probe more, because once you're getting the information you want, don't just gloss over that. Once again, have the extension of that conversation. Where do they see themselves in the future? 12 months, 24 months? What do they hope to gain from meeting with you? Why did they take this meeting? What prompted them to book it? How long have you been thinking about whatever it is they're hoping to gain from this? And even a follow-up question, why now? Why are they meeting with you now? Because those kind of questions touch on the client's positive emotions related to the product and give you some clue as to the expectations. If you know what somebody wants, it's a lot easier to craft the communication and the presentation around getting them what they want. And then once again, guys, if somebody's giving you information that's important to what you're doing, yes, tell me more about that. Whether it's goals, whether it's pain avoidance, whatever it is they're coming up with, tell me more, probe into that, find out more. You're ultimately trying to find out, either A, what somebody really, really, really wants, or B, what somebody really, really, really wants to avoid. And then you have to ask yourself, when you're talking to people, what emotion is this product going to give your customer? Remember, it's not about you and everybody's different. You have to identify their desired emotion. Whatever they're giving you, you have to come and feed off of that. You got to paint a picture. And once again, you have to facts tell, stories sell. So you have to tell a story. And the more clients you have of the similar persona, it becomes easier and easier and easier to tell the story because you're having a lot of these come through. And then finally, when you do that, close the sale. Remember, happy and confident customers are going to spend more money with you. Ultimately, you're connecting somebody from A to B, right? A, where they are right now, and B, where they want to be. And if you can do that, and map out that pathway, the shortest, most linear route to get them there, understand how you fit in, and understand how the products and services fit in, should be a done deal. Remember, people are going to buy from you for different reasons. The fluent status, peace of mind, reassurance, the time convenience is a big, when you're selling stuff like technology to help people, aid them in their financial path, big part of that is time and convenience. And then, the ability to unlock different types of pleasure in their life. Remember, if they have financial stress, they can't unlock other doors in their life. They're thinking about how to pay the mortgage, how to pay the car note, things like that. And then personal empowerment. These are the reasons that people are going to do business with you. And then it really breaks down to 6 emotions why people buy. People are really motivated by greed, fear, altruism, envy, pride, and shame. So once you understand the basic emotions, everybody doesn't have thousands of emotions. We're operating on the same types of ones on a revolving wheel. Becomes easier to do what we're talking about today, which is master the skill set of reading the other side, connecting with the other side, and then start to influence the other side. Really, all you're doing is you're showing people the way. You're creating action plans, making action plans, which are maps for them to get what they want. And then part of emotional intelligence and part of this process is understanding and not letting somebody get off easy if you're getting them to a desired end outcome and they don't want to take that next action step and they're going to decide to take an alternate route, whether that be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that alternate route might be. Don't let them off easy. Talk them through it. Okay, let's talk about that. What is that going to look like over the first year, the second year, the third year? Where are we going to be? Because if you don't change anything at all and something magical happens, well, great. But what is the possibility and probability of that? 0. So you have to understand on both sides the ability to influence people. If they're making the wrong decision, walk them through that. What is that going to look like? Don't let them off easy with the wrong decision. Figure out how that's going to lead them to where they don't want to go. Remember, in your business, in your practice, the more you learn, the more you earn. So stay dedicated to just educating yourself and getting better at the process of marketing, managing sales, whatever your involvement in your business or your agency build out is. Continue to learn and continue to earn. Agency in motion, building, operating, and managing agencies in the 21st century.